In 2K20, you may have noticed it's a little easier to get by defenders again, and thus reminding us all of the dreaded 2K18 Blowby. But I'm going to help you master a few buttons to prevent ball handlers from just driving by you like you're not even there. So alright, let's get it. Now first is getting familiar with the controls, and the most important one is getting in a defensive stance, which you do by holding L2 on PS4 and LT on Xbox. When you move, this lets you take slow shuffle steps across the floor, and the reason you do this, instead of just holding the left stick and guarding somebody, is when you rely on the left stick solely, it will cause you to turn your back to the ball handler if they make any sudden stops or change of direction moves, causing you to fly right by them. You see here with Derrick Rose, he ends up turning completely around as he adjusts to my sudden change of movement. And poor Kyrie suffers the same fate. So you're always going to be holding LT or L2 majority of the time on the perimeter. Keeping this button held keeps your head facing forward at all times against whoever has the ball. You want to stay at a good distance between the ball handler and hoop until he starts to reach the three-point line. You see here how my opponent positions himself at a good distance away from the ball handler as I come up the court. You just don't want to be this guy roaming around half court trying to pick up somebody. It won't end well. But now, one of the new things introduced in NBA 2K20 is improved foot planting, which translates to if you shuffle one too many times holding the left trigger, you will put that foot down and find it very hard to change directions on the dime. So we're going to have to be very cautious how we move this year. To lessen the chance we take ourselves out of the play, we are going to have to get used to taking baby steps with our defenders. He moves right, you take one step right, and then reevaluate what he's doing. He moves left, you do the same. Doing it this way prevents you from sliding all over the place and maintains some kind of discipline with your approach instead of running all over the place when the ball handler barely moves. Now if the ball handler seems to start committing to a direction, that is when you want to bust out the fast shuffle by holding the LT or L2 and then now RT or R2 while still aiming the left stick left or right one flick at a time. And now you will start to move faster and match the speed the ball handler is starting to run at. This will be heavily utilized against the faster ball handlers in the game. Also, the higher the defender's lateral quickness rating is, the faster he'll be able to shuffle across the court in quick bursts. With one-on-one defense, you just want to be close enough to the ball handler to trigger the Blowby animation, which can be pretty bad if you're unprepared for it. So you're going to want to get familiar with a few buttons. The left stick to move your guy, the left trigger, which is the defensive stance, turbo, which is RT or R2, to keep up, and the right stick to contest any shot your opponent may attempt. When they trigger the Blowby, you use the left stick instead of flicking it, hold it in the direction between the ball handler and the hoop, while holding both trigger buttons. And if they try and attempt a shot, that's when you utilize the right stick and aim it at them to get a contest. And if you stop the Blowby animation, you automatically get back into your defensive stance since you were already holding the button. The reason I try to wedge my guy in between the ball and the hoop is when you're in the Blowby animation and you aim directly at the ball handler, you risk a good chance of sliding off of him once the animation ends and he ends up wide open. We don't want that. Here I get up close, the same time the ball handler drives, which triggers the Blowby animation. But you see how the defender is walling off the path the ball handler is trying to take? I'm simply aiming the left stick down to keep myself between him and the hoop while holding turbo and being in my stance. Here I park at the three-point line against Rose, and as soon as he commits more to the sideline, I flick the left stick up once, then hold the right trigger as well as the left trigger to activate the quick shuffle. And since I'm still relatively close to the ball handler, the Blowby animation triggers, and again you wall off his lane and he's left seeking other options. Now watch this, he initially tries to drive but notices nothing is there, so he stops, but because I'm holding the left trigger, I instantly get into my defensive stance to his disappointment. If I wasn't holding LT or L2, I would have flown right by him, which I'm sure he expected. Now he tries another drive, but I was only able to do a left trigger and left stick movement, which still has me in the general area of the ball handler again, triggering the drive animation. And I'm able to wall him up and force him to put up a heavily contested shot. I tried for a block here, which I know by now rarely happens, but ignore that part of the play. Maybe that's why he made it. Here as he tries to wind the clock down, look at Dame Lillard just smother the ball handler forcing up a bad shot. That is excellent one-on-one defense here. That can be copied just by the stuff I went over in this video. To wrap it up, to play on-ball defense this year, you just have to be aware of your positioning more than ever, and to not get yourself out of the play. So you're close enough to be in position to defend perimeter shots, not allow easy drives where you aren't even in the picture, and to properly defend those pesky blow-by animations you will encounter. Once you're comfortable defending that, nothing will seem too much for you to handle. Sorry people, hope this video is able to help you out, and stay tuned here at Sports Gamers Online for more NBA 2K20 content, so make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. I'm Chris, thank y'all for watching, and be good y'all.